Let me say something you're not supposed to hear, especially at the beginning of a new year. Most people are going to ruin this year, not because they are lazy or because they lack discipline or that, no, but because they are about to try. Trying is the most dangerous thing you can do when you don't understand how life really works. Now, as we enter into a new year, for example, something very interesting begins to happen to humans all over the world. I mean, across countries, across belief systems, among cultures that don't speak to each other, don't even like each other. People wake up with the same internal pressure. The sense that now is the time they must finally get their lives together. You know, we're talking about new habits, new goals, new discipline. You heard the mantra: new year, new me, a new version of themselves, right? And it- what had always amazed me is not even the motivation of people in January of every new year. No, no, it's something that lies beneath, something that sits there quiet yet growling. The terror of their lives is the fatigue that you can see in their eyes at the beginning of every year. Most people don't begin the year energized. They begin it already tired, already bracing, already negotiating with themselves about how long the enthusiasm will last this time. Like they can see themselves giving up already. You can see it in their eyes. Because if you if change was as simple as effort, people wouldn't feel this way, to be honest, right? If manifestation, for example, worked the way it is commonly taught, people won't be burnt out. They won't be frustrated. They won't need a new technique. They won't need to refresh their affirmations every few weeks. They won't need new rituals. They won't need to take mushrooms or burn sage or sun their hoo-ha, as you see all over the place. Yet, year after year, the same pattern repeats itself. People try, they push, they fail quietly, then they reset. The same cycle over and over and over again. And eventually, something far more dangerous than failure sets in. They stop trusting themselves. Not publicly, no. Not dramatically in any way, no. But it's internally. They stop trusting themselves. And once that happens, decision making collapses out the window. Let me tell you something that got me kicked out of many Reddit groups. You're not trying to manifest anything. You're already manifesting, like right now, at full capacity, all the time, without interruption, without needing permission from yourself. You're already manifesting. You are a manifestation machine. Manifestation doesn't begin when you buy that course or attend that conference or that seminar or that workshop or that webinar. No, it begins because you exist. Manifestation accompanies you into existence. It has never been about ability. It has always been a matter of alignment. Let me give you a personal example, all right? There was a season in my life where my decision making got fried, like completely deteriorated. I'm a trader. I've been trading for over a decade, well, going to 2 decades now. And I have trained hundreds of people, right? But suddenly my own trade started to screw up. I just began to second guess myself. I wasn't reckless, I wasn't emotional, but uncertainty just crept into my soul. And I began to second guess myself. I will see a clean setup. I know it. I know it. But somehow, either I enter late or I exit too early. I was just second guessing myself. Or I will just miss the trade altogether, just watch it and then it happens. The strangest part was that I was still as accurate as I've always been. They call me the god of Forex online. You could Google my name. But my certainty was suddenly gone. And when certainty leaves, clarity follows it out the door. So I panicked. And when I panic, I do one thing. I pray. I spoke to God. I cried out to God, like, what's going on with me? What's happening? Who is this guy? You know. So I prayed. I wasn't even praying for profits. Like, what's going on? Because I have a reputation of being a great trader. And suddenly I was second guessing myself. What's going on with me? And the Lord showed me in his typical quiet way, he showed me how the problem is with your integrity. I was like, what's wrong with my integrity? He said, you've been promising to quit smoking for 10 years now. You haven't quit. You haven't quit smoking. You've been at this. And then each time you quit, you go back to it the next day. I mean, it's right. Back then I would quit smoking, and then the next morning I go dig through the trash for the remaining and continue my smoking again. You know, I didn't keep my promises to myself. No one else knew. No one was holding me accountable, but I knew. And the thing about integrity, it doesn't destroy loudly like that. No, it leaks slowly. You know, and the part most people don't understand about this is that misalignment does not show up where it starts. No, it shows up where it hurts. It shows up where you need precision. All right. And for me, it showed up in my trading. For most people, it shows up in their it shows up. Your misalignment will show up in the area of your life that you treasure. Right. So for some people, it shows up in their relationships. It shows up in some people's money decisions. It shows up in some people's leadership. It shows up in some people's timing. It shows up where you need results most, so to get your attention. So the problem was never my smoking. I wasn't addicted like I used to tell myself I was a habit I'm trying to break. No, I just lacked integrity. The problem was that I taught my nervous system a lesson. I told my nervous system that my words don't matter. I had convinced myself because I'd make a promise, I'd break it the next day. I had done it over and over and over again. And once such a lesson is learned, hesitation becomes automatic because you can't be trusted. So even if you see a good trade, you can't trust yourself. It was like a curse. Anyway, I quit smoking immediately. No ritual, no withdrawals, no withdrawal drama, no withdrawal syndrome, nothing. The thing about alignment is that it doesn't negotiate, you know. And something remarkable happened because the moment I quit, my life changed. My business went boom. My income went boom. Everything in my life just changed completely. It was the most, I think that year, that was the biggest, one of the best decisions of that year I ever made. I was so proud of myself because I'm free. You know, probably write a book about it in the future. My decision making returned, you know, not because I forced the confidence, but because integrity was restored. Listen, certainty is not psychological. You can't think your way into certainty, into confidence. No, you better be sure. And that's why the idea of this idea by Tony Robbins of the sleeping giant is very misleading. Apologies to Tony Robbins. The giant is not asleep. The giant is misaligned. Okay, I think Tony Robbins wrote that book of Awakening the Giant Within. The giant is not sleeping. You have been producing outcomes your entire life. Admit it. In patterns, in cycles, in repetitions, things you swear you will never repeat again. The question is not whether you manifest. The question is what agreements your life is keeping. What agreements is your life loyal to? You can tell this by looking at your life over the past 1 year. And that is what you need to address. Forget the goals. Change those agreements and you can change your outcomes. That's why these modern teachings fail. You know, they teach you to create destiny, ignore everything else, focus on the fruit. It's not true. To script it, to speak it, force it into existence. No, it doesn't work like that. Destiny is not created. Destiny is assigned. It is written. It is intended. It's allocated. It's like bandwidth. You're not here to invent a life from scratch. No, that's pointless. Even if there was no God, there are thousands of people before you. Why are you trying to invent life from scratch? You are here to step into one that already exists. And whenever you find yourself forcing outcomes, striving, pushing, negotiating with reality, it's usually not a sign that you lack discipline. No, it's a sign that you are out of order. You are out of alignment. Once everything should be natural. Look at your heart. If your heart is healthy, your heart is beating naturally. It's not stressing itself. Alignment does not have to be dramatic. It's quiet, it's calm, it's boring like your heart. It's been boring it's been beating since the day you were born. The same place, the same location. It doesn't get tired and go to your feet. You know. So when something is aligned, everything is natural. You don't need motivation. You don't need pressure. You don't need pressure. But when something is misaligned, everything feels heavy. Imagine you can't be so motivated as a dolphin that you want to climb trees, right? So that stress is just the warning bells telling you to get back into alignment. The pain of failure is not necessarily an outcome of wrong strategy, but a warning bell to come back into alignment. Resistance can never be defeated by willpower. It is resolved by alignment. And that's what I'm calling you to, because this is where you understand why discipline fails wherever identity is broken. You can't willpower your way into a reality with a wrong identity. If who you believe you are is misaligned with what you're trying to achieve or where you're trying to go, your system will pull you back to what feels familiar, who you believe you are. You can't be a feminist trying to get married and be happily married. You will fail. You can't. Right? So the scripture puts it very clearly in Jeremiah 29 verse 11. It says, I know the thoughts that I think towards you. It's not thoughts that you must create or thoughts that you must force into being. Thoughts that I already think. I know them. That's God talking. Thoughts that already exist, which means it can be humbling and freeing at the same time, because first of all, if something is not written, you can't force it. It's pointless. At the same time, if it was written, then you don't need to chase it. Alignment is not effort. Your heart has never had a muzzle pull. All things being equal. It's agreement. It stays where it's supposed to be. Your heart doesn't get bored and go to the feet or go and stay somewhere else. No, stay alignment where it's scripted to be. So what I'm saying basically is this year, don't ask how to manifest harder. Ask a smarter question. What am I already aligned with? Because your current life is not random. If you are to be honest with yourself, it is evidence. You can look at your life for the past year. The outcomes you had is a result of your alignment. So judge it, be honest, and then you can fix it. So once you see the truth, panic drops. Look at all the words they use in the world to mislead us. They say grind, hustle, everything's about hard work. No, that's not how it's supposed to be. So when you understand this, then real progress begins. Then your resolutions can actually have a chance of coming to life. And they will actually come to life. Anyway, this channel is not about manifesting harder, my friends. It's about aligning deeper. Manifest less, hustle less, grind less, align more. And remember this, the biggest and greatest manifestation event in all of human history is the rapture, when we all check out at the return of the Lord Jesus. It's going to be big. In all you do, in all you aspire, in all you pursue, make sure you're ready for the rapture, because it's coming. I'd love to see you in heaven. My name is Waju. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.